Roth. This is my world, and welcome to it. First of all, I'd like to start off this edition by saying thank you to all my fans who sent me the holiday gift of lip balm. I appreciate it and now have enough lip balm to probably get me through October of next year and into the new holiday season. Thank you. Now, in news this week, there are a few things that I'd like to discuss. One, yes, it is true. I have gotten an iPhone. I don't know how to use it. I can answer it if it rings, if I hear it ring, but other than that, I really don't know how to operate the phone. The reason I like the phone is because I can call it Snowflake. Yes, that's its name. And yes, I have a phone cover of The Great Gatsby. Now, in other news, you might have been wondering, how did I spend my holiday break? Well, I'll tell you. It didn't go off to a good start. Was I baking cookies? Eventually. Was I shopping? I did. But how it began? I was trapped in Mason High School's elevator the last day of break after school, and no one was around. You say, wait a minute, what do you mean by trapped? I mean stuck in the elevator for 40 minutes in the dark by myself. People are like, well, what did you do? I knitted a scarf. What do you think I did? There was nothing for me to do. I was trapped in an elevator. I pressed the button, no one came. I shouted for people, no one came. I was finally able to get a text message out to the husband, who, by the way, is a firefighter trained in specially confined space rescue something elevator-like. And when I say I'm stuck in the elevator, you know what his response was? Ha ha. Ha ha. Luckily, fellow teacher Karen Jenkins came to my rescue and was able to get the fire department here to come and get me out of the elevator. Do I take the elevator anymore, you ask? Of course I do. The very next day, in news, I also had an incident involving a headless elf. Was it a real elf? No. Okay, it wasn't. It was a porcelain elf, about yay high. Hermie from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, his head fell off, okay? And so my children, they're crying, the elf, its head. Okay, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna super glue that thing right back on. What actually happened? I super glued both of my fingers together to the back of the elf. Don't believe me? Let me show you on the phone. Now, I did not take this picture, nor do I know how to really access it. I had to have someone else do it. Those are my fingers glued to the back of the headless porcelain elf. I had to soak my fingers in fingernail polish remover for 2 hours to get that thing off. It did not feel good. My skin burned. In other news, Clone and Drone are still alive. They did not die over break, and they had a lovely holiday season. Thank you for asking. Today in feature, I would like to talk about Abe Lincoln and Valentine's Day. You know, on Valentine's Day, we give out these candy hearts. They don't taste good, and they're not that witty. So you wonder, how in the world does that whole industry stay in business? Well, don't ponder that answer. What I want you to ponder is, if Abraham Lincoln were to have his own line of candy hearts, what would they say? Well, today for you, I have some options. The first one, be my first lady. That's right, be my first lady. The second one, sure to charm the heart of any lady with integrity. I'm Honest Abe and I honestly love you. Who doesn't want a pink candy heart with that saying on it? And finally, hottie. That's right. Look at that face. It says it all. Now, finally on to Roth thoughts. On one of the postcards that I received that I asked for people to send to me, someone said to me, Roth, what do you think of hand soap? And I thought, you know, I'm not sure I have an opinion on hand soap. I like it. It makes my hands clean. I don't get viruses. It keeps me away from the Ebola virus. But then I got to thinking, what I do have some thoughts on, how we name hand soap. Does it need to be named? Can it not just be hand soap? Or wait, here's a thought, soap. No, it has names like crisp, cucumber, melon. Why crisp? Because a squishy cucumber, I guess, doesn't smell the same? Do I want my hands to smell like freshly sown earth cucumbers? I don't know, but I don't feel like I do. And how about this one? Warm vanilla sugar. I've never seen warm vanilla sugar. Does it have to be warm? Can it be cold? Can it be lukewarm? Can it be mediocre? I don't know, but why does it have to have a name? Now, my other raw thought for the day deals with, of course, your friend and mine, Abe Lincoln, and why he should have his own day. Yes, up here behind me, there are only 25 days to President's Day, so we don't have a lot of time to invoke change, but I believe that you and I together can get it done. Let me give you some thoughts about why he should not have to share his day with George Washington or other presidents. Again, I'm not about, exclusively looking at Abe Lincoln. I am. But you can honor presidents on other days, but Abe Lincoln should have his own day. But for the sake of our conversation, let's decide today, who would you rather have as your date for Valentine's Day, okay? Some things you might judge them on. Here, take a look at Abe. Take a look at Georgie, okay? Founding Father George Washington, Mr. Georgie. Does he have good hair? Look at the hair. Beautiful hair. Not so beautiful hair. Wins on hair, hands down. Therefore, he's your date for Valentine's Day and should have his own day where you celebrate him. 2, how about on honesty? He's called Honest Abe. He has some story about telling the truth when he chopped down a cherry tree. But does anyone call him Honest Georgie? They don't. It's because he chopped down a tree, people. That's not honest. That's destroying the environment. Okay? Honest Abe is called honest because he returned some coins that a customer had paid extra. He walked 5 miles uphill, barefoot, in the snow to return the coinage to the customer. Honest Abe. Georgie. Now, you might be thinking, who's more dashing? You might look at their attire and wonder, okay, it's, a crisp, clean cravat. This is a bit more polished and says, hi there. And you're right, I will give you on cravat, Georgie wins hands down, okay? Now, charm. Charm is often referred to as how people use their words. Can you think of any words that Georgie ever said? Right now, think about that. Can you? No, you can't. But did Abe author the Gettysburg Address? He sure did. He said 407 years ago. 400. It just rings in your ears. Charming. Did he write Lincoln's second inaugural address? He did, because he's Abe Lincoln and he wrote it. Should every class study that piece of literature? They should. Should every class except Kurt Bly's class study that? Yes. Why? Because Kurt Bly is not allowed to teach that. Don't ask me why. And then there's the issue of swagger. Now, I don't understand this concept fully. It has been explained to me by others, but I will say this. Consider this in terms of swagger. Which of the two has been dead longer and is more likely to be able to swagger as a zombie? I'm pretty sure Zombie Lincoln wins against Zombie Washington. Who's dead longer? That's Washington, in case you didn't know the answer. The second thing, Washington had wooden teeth. How can you have swagger if you have wooden teeth? Not to offend those of you that might have wooden teeth, but I'm just not sure you have swagger. Lincoln had a stovepipe hat. For goodness sakes, he could pull that off. You can't, but he could. Let's honor the man that wore the stovepipe hat, that was charming with his words, that is the man who is dashing, even though his cravat is not as polished. He has great hair, and for goodness sakes, people, he's Honest Abe. He should have his own day. He should be your date to Valentine's Day. And this is Roth's World, and welcome to it.